Fan Show. We are going to try this one more time, starting right from the top. My name is Jason. I am Old Car Auto Guy, and beside me, I have
Straight Sixfan, Grant Tommy of Straight Sixfan. Oh my gosh, I'm Sixfan of the Sixfan Carrguy and Sixfan Show. It's just been a mess, but I think we have a better internet connection now. We are hardwired into the Ethernet, and then to my right we have
Corey Pratt out of Craving Cars.
And obviously, guys, these two fellows are out of the general Kansas area. I know Grant is just outside of town a little bit. Corey, you're from the same area, so that's why they are on the same camera tonight. And obviously, Corey didn't travel to my place. He's not sitting here with me sharing a nice cold Moosehead. Anyways, so we're sitting here. We're trying to get this show. Maybe next time. So we're trying to get this show on the road, and I guess what we'll do is we're going to allow Corey to introduce himself one more time because I don't think before the guests caught it. So Corey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel, a little bit about who you are, and why you are on YouTube?
Wow, where did I start last time? I'm trying to remember.
It was so good, but unfortunately you guys didn't get to hear
it. It was the first cut. The first cut's always half the time is the best cut. Okay. I've always been kind of a car guy. I've never had a lot of money to put into cars, so I didn't grow up with a lot of really cool cars. I mean, there's maybe a few in the family. Well, maybe my mom had, kind of thing. But I just remember whatever it was, whatever that gene, whatever that thing that flows in our blood that let us know what it is that we were in love with. That's what I was in love with cars. So I just figured out the best way I felt like I could contribute to my hobby of loving cars, since I'm not building these awesome hot rods like you guys.
Like a Fairmont.
Yeah. Instead I'll get a video camera so I can video these awesome cars and still be around them. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I want to do all these kind of videos, car oriented. Majority of what I've been sticking with lately has been more car shows. I help promote car shows for certain people, and become partial sponsors because of it. Like this Show Me Rally, that shirt that I got on now, was a really big deal. And it wasn't even for the money per se, and nothing to do with that. It was just a matter so I want to be in the action. And I want to be that guy where people go, hey, we got a show going on. Make sure Craving Cars gets out here so we can capture this week. So not only do I want to be a part of it, I want everybody else who can't make it to these kind of things to be able to experience it. And the best way I can do is through video. So
well, and that you do a great job with as well, because if you aren't a part of Craving Cars YouTube page, I encourage you to go over there and check it out right now, because he's got some really awesome editing going on. And, he really captures the essence of what he's there to do. Exactly what he just said. Go in, get what the people want to see, show off what needs to be shown off. And he's doing a really good job with that.
Yeah, Jason, you took the words right out of my mouth, where I was going to say, I think I can speak for you in saying that the quality of video that Corey puts out is much better, like from a videographer standpoint, much better than anything you and I do at the moment.
And I think for us as I'm going to speak for myself, because I don't want to be calling anybody's footage down by no means, but coming from an amateur standpoint and not knowing what the capabilities are of video, watching people like Corey really puts that into perspective and gives me some ideas on how to truly do things like B-roll, music, and just simple fading from one thing to the next. It definitely gives inspiration to somebody who's more novice at the whole editing thing, like myself.
Or at least, it helps us give like a benchmark, something like, oh man, I want to get there, and that definitely comes through a lot in your videos, Corey. Like,
wow, I had no idea. Thank you.
I mean, like your up to date videos, for instance, like the lighting on your up to date videos is something that that was partially what this accent wall was for when I did this, was to have something like that. But the lighting, I just don't understand lighting quite like someone like you.
Well, thanks. I to be honest, I try to keep it simple. It's when you try to complicate things is when it just gets too tough. It gets out of control. It gets to the point where you're thinking you're doing good, but you're like, oh, we can do this, and we can put this kind of transition, and we can do this kind of and then it just falls apart at the end because you don't know how to maintain it because you're trying to be too complicated. And keeping it simple is what I'm trying to do, but at the same time, slowly learning the process, just to do better with it, I guess.
Well, and I think kind of to what you say, there's a saying I like to use where there's a fine line sometimes between craft and art. And I think what you do is very much artful, but then when something like you said, if you're not careful and you try to add one more thing on top of one more thing on top of one more thing, it looks more like a craft project.
I have a bad habit of actually trying to put every single thing I film into the video. When I'm like, wow, this is going to be 47 minutes long. I think we might have to trim this down a little bit.
Well, we'll get into some of the YouTube like lessons learned and kind of pointers and tips and tricks here in a little bit. But where we always like to start the show is talking kind of automotive news or automotive happenings, just hot rod talk. And I want to talk about your latest upload, Corey, which the Corvette, the C8 had, GM did the public corporate unveiling 2 months ago or something.
Yep.
But you had the opportunity to go to the unveiling of the C8 at like a dealership level where a dealer got to unveil it for the first time on their showroom floor once they took delivery. Take us through that experience a little bit. I mean, first off, had you ever been to anything like that? And then secondly, just like, what was that day like?
Actually, I haven't, and I still wouldn't have if it wouldn't have been for Craving Cars, because it was because of the person I knew, and he knew I did Craving Cars. He invited me months ago to say, you need to come to our event. And I said, okay, what's going on? It's like, well, that's when they're bringing the Corvette. And I'm like, yes,
Okay.
please. And it was just one of those things where it's like, well, okay, so now let's talk a little bit further. How can I get any good shots of this? Because, there's like 2,500 people that were signed up to go to this thing. He goes, oh, well, that's simple, Corey. I'll just let you in early. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
That works for me. And so I got in with kind of a special guest. The Corvette Club of Kansas City was there. And I think it's, a couple of other Corvette Club areas like Ozarks Corvette Club, or I think there's an Arkansas one there too. There would have been more that showed up if it wouldn't been raining.
Yeah.
Like crazy. But I got to be in with them. So I was there at like 7:30 in the morning when supposedly you weren't supposed to get there till like, it wasn't really starting until 10. So we got to kind of see the car a little bit sooner, and with that much less of a crowd. And so I got a little bit of time with it. And had I known it was going to blow up as much as it has so far on my channel, at least for me, that's a blown up video. Not for someone with like 1 million subscribers. This is still nothing. But it's just like, wow, maybe I should have stayed there a little bit longer and got more video. Because I look at it as like, I filmed it Sunday, I edited it and put it up on Monday. And usually I spend a little more time with them, but it was such a short kind of a thing I did that it was just, threw together. I kind of looked at it, I was like, wow, I feel like I should have did a better job with it now. Because it's now my second most viewed video that's on my channel. So.
Well, and that's great to be able to get that second most viewed video in just a few short days,
Yeah.
And somebody even said it in the chat. I think it was Kip from American Bumper to Bumper says, for the quality of videos you're putting out, it's very surprising at the low sub count that you have. So part of what we do here with this channel or with this show is kind of semi quasi support stream to help guys who are small grow. We still consider ourselves small, but in your particular case, we want to see you succeed. We want to see your name get out there. We want to see your product get out there. And everybody that's in the chat right now, again, like I said before, if you're not subscribed to Craving Cars, I really encourage you to go over there, and you won't be disappointed. So that's part of why we do this channel. And we always try to start out our live streams with that, to say, okay, here I am, here's Grant, but this is what we're doing. This is why we do it. We want to see people grow. We want to succeed ourselves, and we want to help everybody else that's a part of our community do that too. And as you can see by the chat, it's kind of blowing up. A lot of guys in there who really support us and want to see us succeed as well. So Corey, I've got a quick question for you when it comes to hardware and software. So what is your main piece of equipment that you use to film your videos with, A, and B, what software are you using to edit?
It's funny because I was actually telling Grant I was actually going to I had my camera bag, I was going to grab it, and just because I had a couple of things that I've gotten since I saw him last that I was going to show him, but That's at home, and that's not here. But my main camera, and to be honest, I've used anything from a cell phone, an action camera, to a camcorder I used to have that I sold. But right now, my main camera is a Canon 80D, so 80D. It's a very popular camera. It was probably one of the most popular ones on YouTube at its time when it came out, just because the flip out screen, people can vlog with it. But the image I get out of it, I'm very, very satisfied with it. I use a decent lens. And then what I edit with is Adobe Premiere Elements. So not Premiere Pro, but Premiere Elements. You can go to Best Buy and buy it. It's basically like, think of Premiere Pro, but on a much more basic level. To make it easier to use. So I mean, you're limited if you want to do more stuff than what I'm doing, like more types of transitions or effects or something. But then if that's the case, you got the basics of your editing now. Now you can upgrade to another software, which I'm going to this winter.
Well, and that's the good thing about the Adobe products is even though you have the stripped down version, the interface is still by and large set up the same way to where if you did ever upgrade to Pro, you kind of know automatically where you're going, so there's some logic to that, and that's always has been my experience with the YouTube thing is like I've been stair-stepping my way into things because I originally shot basically with this webcam that we're using right now is where a lot of my first episodes were used because it's like I wanted to make sure I was going to regularly do it before I invested money into it, and so I think that's a pretty common solution is to kind of stair-step your way into things like that.
But it's not anything that anybody. I actually thought about doing a video on how to get started. And if anybody wanted to know like what it's going to take for us to do a car channel or any kind of YouTube channel, I'd make it car oriented when I did it. But I mean, little kits that you can get for adding to a cell phone or a smaller, cheaper camera than what I'm using, or something more expensive than I'm using. What they'd want for microphones. I mean, the whole ball of wax. And that's most of my YouTubing has been researching what to do and what not to do and what's good products and what's not so good of products. And so I feel like I have more knowledge than what I can afford. But I mean, on top of things, I've got a couple of action cameras that I can use for future stuff I'm going to do with some car reviews. I've got a drone that I recently got a few months ago that, you'll see in the last few videos I've done, I've got some drone shots, but just something to add to the elements. But that's over the last 3 years of buying equipment.
So, guys, as we move on, one of the things that we do like to talk about during the show are channel updates. And these, basically all we're doing was we're just kind of giving our followers an opportunity to know what's up and coming on our channel. So, Corey, is there something that you have on your channel that you know of that's up and coming in the near future that people can look forward to watching?
I was talking to Grant about this, that I have been so busy this summer, and I was doing a really good job of video. It gets up before the next weekend. Video get up before the next weekend. I've probably backlogged 10 or 12 videos right now that still need to go out. So I'm going to be pretty busy even through the winter. Things are going to be out late. Things I've shot a couple months ago that still aren't out, which I hate to say that does actually hurt the views because people aren't as actively looking for that show anymore. But I'm going to put them out anyway. I filmed them. I shot them. I want to put them out.
It's inventory.
Yeah. But I'm still doing shows still and trying to get, there's certain ones that have priorities of others. But the next show that I'm actually going to go to is going to be on October 5th. It's the KC Showdown. It's one of the ones I'm kind of a partial sponsor of helping them promote this. I've been promoting their stuff for the most of the year, and we're becoming a really good relationship where we're working together really well, the guys that put that on. So.
But for you, the other advantage to being backlogged like you are is obviously car show season runs, into March, late October-ish, maybe something like that. So for making sure you have content for November, December, January, and February on these parts, maybe the backlog's not such a bad idea.
Pretty much covered, yeah. I could probably stop working for a month and still not get all the videos out.
Well, I did want to kind of jump into the chat. There's a few things that have come up. I know Novitaz is asking what's with the automated responses. So if you have a little more context to that, I guess I didn't switch over on my end, the live chat till later. So sorry, I've missed some of you guys' commentary. But I know Captain Ron was asking me if I noticed myself in a cameo in episode 17 again. I probably needed like a comment or two above that. So if anybody else has come into the live stream since we've restarted, welcome. Jason, I'm sorry, I think I cut you off. You were about to mention.
No, I think basically all I was about to say
Sorry.
was two things, and one of them was I'm outside and I'm underneath an awning and it's starting to rain, so you guys might be catching a little bit of that noise. Just let me know if you are, and I can mute myself when I'm not talking. But yeah, basically everybody that was in your stream has come over. We've got a few new guys in here. Muscle Man 8562 has jumped into the chat, and he did have a couple of cut and paste let people know that he was going to follow them type of thing. So I think that's what Novotaz was getting on with that. But basically, we do have some guys in there. Rust Belt Mechanic, the Master Apprentice Ron has jumped in as well. Impacts Gaming. All these guys are back from the original stream. So guys, welcome back. We were just talking about Corey's up and coming with his videos. He seems to have quite a backlog of stuff to release. Grant, how about you? With Project Low Fairmont, what do you got on the go for us this week?
Yeah, so Monday night I was able to repack the bearings on the one side. If you watched the last episode, I kind of ran into a snag, and I was able to get that kind of done on Monday. I still need to install the caliper, but I actually have my weekend's going to be pretty busy, where Sunday I don't think I'm going to be working on the car at all. So I'm trying to figure out how I can wrap something up and videotape something, and to where when I get home on Sunday night I can edit up the rest of that. Ideally I'd like to be doing more, but that's just life.
Yeah.
But Jason, what we got? What should we expect from you?
Well, I've got a couple of things up my sleeve. One of them is one of the local guys who belonged to the car club here in town. Passed away this past spring, and his wife has come to me and asked me, how do I go about selling his car? And what he's got, or what he had for a car, was a '68 Ford LTD. And look, I can't even imagine the luck of having the opportunity to bring this car onto the channel, because we're going to have a '68 LTD and my '04 Grand Marquis, basically the predecessor of the LTD, to compare the two of them in the form of a video, because I'm going to have it all day tomorrow. Basically what I did was I offered to get lots of detailed pictures and even do a video of the car to put up on some websites and help advertise for. She knows nothing about cars. She knows that we do, and that we have some connections to be able to help her get this thing sold. So I don't know any of the details yet, but I am going to make a video of it. Like I said, I think it's going to be great to have the '68 LTD and Project Grandma kind of together as long lost relatives, and be able to kind of compare the quality, the styling, different stuff like that with these two cars. And we're going to make that an upcoming video. Also, a buddy of mine next door, his wife bought a 2019 Jeep Wrangler Sahara, and I did an Instagram poll a couple of weeks ago asking my viewers if they wanted to see me do a review of that Jeep Wrangler, and yes, they're going to leave that with me this weekend, and I'm going to make sure that I get that review done.
Nice.
Well, there are three things I kind of want to address from the chat that's rolled in since then. The question one came from Rust Belt Mechanic for you, Corey, and wanted to know if there was any, if you're making any push to maybe get to SEMA.
I am going to SEMA. My plane ticket is bought, my hotel room is reserved, and my credentials are in. So I'm going to SEMA for the first time.
That's fantastic. That's like a bucket list.
Which is more stuff to add to the backlog of videos.
Yeah. Well, that one though would
one.
probably be good. You want to be timely with it. Like everybody's going to want to consume SEMA as close to the event as possible. So
I'll probably be editing, actually starting the edits and getting the file set up even while I'm there at night. So,
well, item number 2 from the chat was, of course, a mutual friend of mine, but more. I met Stephen Miller in the chat through Corey. Of course, he's the owner of the Bullet Fairmont, which I did a feature on my channel on, but he was letting me know he has 1-inch wheel spacers that I was hoping to borrow to mock up on Project Low Fairmont. That's kind of more of a channel update again, because I ran into a clearance issue in the front. So that would be awesome. Steven, I'd be ever so grateful to. I think I can get away with a 3/4 inch spacer, but I know 1-inch will work and it's going to be great to
That is a cool shirt, actually.
test that out before I purchase anything. And then the final question, I think, came from Eric Strenberg for you, Carrguy, in regards to the LTD, wanting to know if it was a 302 car or a 351 car.
Well, to be honest with you guys, I've only seen the car probably half a dozen times in my life, and I don't think out of those half a dozen times I've ever seen the hood up. So it's going to be all new to me, and that's one of the reasons why I opted to offer to help her with this little project, so that I could kind of get my hands on it as well and learn a little bit about what was put into a 68 LTD. So I don't know the answer to that question, but an upcoming video should have that for you.
Well, and it's a Ford, and I mean, enough said. So that's good for you, Carrguy.
Yeah, I'm not even a Ford guy. You know, the funny thing is I've never been a Ford guy. Okay, so I'm driving a Grand Marquis. Right now, my wife is driving a Ford Escape. Our shop truck is a Ford F-150. So I don't know how my driveway ended up getting packed full of Fords, but anyways, here we are. Carry on. Next question, please.
Well, okay. Well, the next question, as you guys know, we always try to talk kind of YouTube hacks, growth hacks, how to get better at what we're already doing. And so since we have the guest and a couple people have asked who joined in the chat late, who is the gentleman next to me is Corey with Craving Cars. What's the one thing for you that you're like, oh man, if only I knew this practice earlier, this thing earlier, that would have been so much more advantageous for my YouTube channel? What is that for you?
I probably would have pushed social media a lot more, and I still don't do it enough. I think that's helped grow a little bit. Obviously getting things out more timely, that helps. The last thing I've been trying to do to try to keep up with you guys with the whole you too, and as far as like trying to get to that 100 subscribers this month thing, which I don't even think I have 30 from the start, but I've got 20 something. So
you might beat me.
That's good. But I've been throwing little 2-3 minute short videos on Facebook because I've discovered something. Now, if you got just a second, I've discovered something. When you put a link to Facebook, like say YouTube, and you put it on Facebook, and if you don't pay any money to boost the post or anything like that, you'll see it'll gain 60 people see it, 50 people see it, whatever, 100 people maybe. But then when you put a video straight to Facebook, next thing you know, hundreds of people are seeing it. I'm like, why is that? Why is it hundreds of people seeing my post I put out for the link for my YouTube channel? So I started thinking, well, what if I do like a little 2-minute video, like these little first impression video things I'm doing, and they're gaining 1,000 views on Facebook. But I thought, well, that means Craving Cars is getting out there more with all these people because I don't have 1,000 friends on Facebook. So obviously people that I don't know are watching them, and hopefully it'll draw them more to the channel. Maybe that's what got me some of my subscribers this month. I'm not sure. I just started kind of doing that. So.
Yeah, as well. I've been trying to do teaser videos on Instagram, but Carrguy,
I need to do Instagram more.
I'm not the best at reading lips, but I think you were giving us like a 4-minute warning, maybe, where you wanted to. No, okay, all right.
No,
I'm done with my hack
I'm 4 away from reaching 100 subscribers in September. Sorry.
Go ahead and humble brag.
L for love.
Yeah, I love you too, buddy. Oh shoot! So I guess we should probably carry on. We should carry on with this show. We are getting close to tidying things up here, even though we had to switch from Grant's channel over to mine due to some connection issues. We did get those fixed. Obviously, we've got some. We got a great connection with them there now. All kinds of good audio. Get lots of interaction, and so as we get ready to close out season 2.1, episode 2.1. I wanted to make sure I threw that in there.
I guess it is episode 2.
Yeah.
We just want to open up the chat real quick for a couple more questions, and then we are going to get ready to close this out. So if you guys have any questions for myself, for Grant, for Corey, I did put a link in the chat for Corey's channel. If you just scroll up there a little bit, you will see that I put that in there, and you can click on that and head over there and give him a subscribe. Like I said, you certainly won't be disappointed. Grant, do you have any last words before we get ready to close everything out?
Well, just to piggyback on what you said, go check out Corey's account, and if you're already subscribed to him, create a burner account to subscribe to him. So that's my advice.
And then use that account to watch the videos too.
Yeah.
Can they get those views up?
No, I mean, so honestly, yeah, thanks guys for working with us tonight and through the technical difficulties. I could have shut it down and probably rehosted. StreamYard was giving me the notification that hardwiring is going to work better than Wi-Fi, but we were trying to troubleshoot audio issues. So I thought, well, Jason can do the work to start a new stream while I go hardwire my computer. And so that's kind of why we did what we did. But yeah, episode 2.1 of season 2.1, I think went pretty good.
Well, we made it this far along. We haven't crashed and burned yet. We do have just one quick little question from Rust Belt Mechanic. He's asking Corey, what audio do you use on your video? Maybe
usually my voice.
Maybe he can clarify that a little bit. Is it specifically with maybe some music? Kyle, is that what you're asking? Or...
I didn't think about that. You talking about music, or are you talking about like my microphone? The microphone I use on my camera is a Deity microphone, the D3 Pro or something like that. It's something equivalent to like a Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, only a little bit cheaper, and I think it sounds better. Audio, like my music, I get from Epidemic Sound, so I do pay a subscription for my music, and that seems to be a pretty popular one. And I've checked out some other ones, and to be honest, so far Epidemic still has the best music choices for me. So,
well, actually, at the YouTube conference I went to out in Vegas, one of the biggest giveaways they were doing was Deity mics. So I think they're kind of the up and coming brand. Like, Rode's been the gold standard in the microphone game, the external microphone game, for a long time. And it was one of those things, as I did my research, it was sort of like how I ended up with BF Goodrich all-terrain tires. I didn't want what everybody had, but then when you really do the research, it's like, well, there's a reason why so many people have it. It's because it's just that good of a product. And that's what Rode has been. But I think Deity is becoming the brand that is, if someone's going to bite at their heels and is going to pull off becoming a competitor, I think it's going to be them. And
I think Rode needs that competitor to, you need that competitiveness to get the products better price, you get better quality, you get better for your money, stuff like that. But my next choice, if you're asking about microphones, my next option that I'll be buying next would be probably a wireless setup, which is back to Rode. I'll probably buy the Video Wireless Go or something like that, whatever that's called. I don't know. It's really tiny. It's really cool. Awesome reviews. I've been looking like a lot about that. But in the wireless game of microphones, I don't like cords. But there's times I want a lav, I want something on me, but I don't want to tie myself to a cord. So those will work great for me.
Like in a parking lot where people are driving through at a car show.
If I can't use like the shotgun mic on the camera and I need something different, like closer to you, so you don't have so much ambient noise, then that's what I'm going for next. But yeah,
well, that's great. And I want to end this little segment off with. I've been experiencing some microphone problems with mine too. So I use a GoPro primarily for my kit. So the GoPro adapter on the end of the. I'll get it right here. Show you. So on the end of the microphone adapter.
Brand.
Yeah. So it's got this short little cable that plugs into your GoPro. Well, you've got to kink it up so bad to get it to plug in this way, or flip it around this way, and you're kinking it too. So I think that's where a lot of my issues are coming from, because it's intermittent and it comes and goes. I don't necessarily realize that I have the issue until I get it uploaded to edit it. And then it's too late, because all of a sudden your footage is pretty well screwed unless you want to voice over your own, yourself talking.
Right.
So, but
yeah, it's the beauty of like a DSLR or something kind of camera like that, because even if you don't plug a headphone in a monitor, because it's kind of weird if you're wearing headphones while you're trying to vlog. But on my screen, I can look at if I needed to at any point, I can tap on it and see the meter for for what it's picking up. So if I'm overdoing it, underdoing it, it helps. But.
Well, and I've got this really nice DSLR. The problem with it is because it's more of a point and shoot camera versus a video camera. It's heavy, so it's hard to hold that out there. I've got a stick for.
It sounds very Canadian. You guys are kind of a little weaker in the this department, so.
Okay, so that's the end of our show for the night, guys. We're gonna call it quits right here. before the insults start flying. Anyways, so we're gonna call this quits. I'm gonna do my part and say, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out everybody's channel that's in the chat, because that is what this is all about. Go check out Craving Cars. Go check out Street Sixfan. Make sure you subscribe to each of those guys, and let's help everybody grow our channels, guys. My name is Jason. I'm going to say sayonara. Grant, go ahead and close out this episode.
Once again, guys, we thought we had all the kinks worked out for season 2.1 and that we weren't going to struggle through or take the struggle bus through season 2.1. But of course, that's what I'm the master of driving. But we appreciate you working with us and coming along. And so hope you enjoyed it. We just love catering this community. It's just a hangout. We call it a subscriber hangout. We want you to expose you guys to more channels like Craving Cars. But that's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, peace out.
And to all you cravers out there,
Keep craving.
you got it.
Right on, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.